and I'm joining you today from Homeschool Moms Academy. I'm super excited to be with you. Today's topic, I want to introduce our guest speaker. We're just going to have a wonderful dialogue about speaking positive words today. So please introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Stanley Dietrich, and I am the founder of 360 Life Without Limits. And I really believe that we can live a limitless life. We end up putting the own limitations on ourselves, basically about what our topic is today, about the things that we say to ourselves more than anybody else, the things that we say to ourselves and about ourselves. So a lot of the things that we say create these limitations. And that's what I focus my coaching on and try to focus my life around that. And hey, not everybody can do this 100% of the time. So don't feel like you're the only one that doesn't get it, because nobody gets it all the time. We all have a moment. So
yeah, and not only that, but also you spend your whole life like continually training yourself. Even now I have to watch myself because negative words can still come out of my mouth and negative thoughts can still penetrate my brain. So even now I have to continually watch myself. I know I've gone through several phases throughout life when I was trying to train myself to speak positive words, because I feel like it is such an atmosphere changer. But let's talk about today that specifically for homeschool moms, or even moms in general, who maybe they've worked all day, they come home, they're preparing dinner, they're getting ready to sit down to the dinner table, and all they're hearing after all this work and all this energy is exploded into the day, they sit down and they're hearing a bunch of complaining. So give me your take on that. What are we going to do with that dinner table conversation?
well, I'll tell you, I'm going to give my ex-wife credit because she has a practice of people sit down at the table and she starts off and she says, "What was the best part of your day?"
Yeah.
So after we've said like a grace for our food, she'll ask a question. What is the best part of your day? And she makes sure that everybody around the table answers that question, and it sets a different trajectory because it is a mind shift. And
Yeah.
if we can create the mind shift as we create a negative mind shift, we're in the power.
Yeah.
So that's a simple little act,
Yeah.
because you can't have an attitude with the same mindset that you have gratitude.
Yeah.
So you walk into a room ticked off or upset or mad at the world, you
Mhm.
cannot have gratitude in that same moment. It just doesn't exist.
That's
And
right.
so there's this battle that's constantly fighting, going back and forth, beckoning our attention.
Yeah. 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 And that happens a lot with children. For whatever reason, they get upset, you discipline them, they get upset. And then there's got to be some diffusing of that attitude to get them. So allowing that time to diffuse, to disseminate the negativity so they can enter back into a positive conversation. I mean, I always like to encourage moms that when your child's upset or they're really complaining, like take a moment and stop and just give them time asking some questions to really refocus their mind on how they're displaying their words and their actions. So I had a student the other day who was just very negative, very upset, and just said, okay, let's take a walk, 5 minutes, clear your head, come back. Here we go. We're ready to go. Any great advice as far as that, like getting your child to shift their mindset?
Yeah, we throw these ideas out there, and what I want to make sure that people understand is that this is more than theory. This is a practice, and we practice whatever it is that we do. We practice our language, we practice our skills, and anything that we practice, we refine. So if it's a negative and we're practicing negative,
Yeah.
then we refine that and we become very, very good at it. and it can be the same way in the positive. And so one of the things that I'm going to ask, there's a series of a few questions. I'm going to say, is that true? Is that really the fact?
Yeah.
And then who would I be if that statement wasn't true? So if Johnny comes home and says, everybody hates me and I hate going to school.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the question, does everybody, I mean, is there not one person?
Yeah.
Is everybody hate you? Yeah, everybody hates me. Oh, I thought you said that Samuel and you have fun on the playground. Well, Samuel's the only one. Well, if Samuel is the only one, could there be another person that doesn't hate you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or and begin to challenge the narrative of the programming that we're putting into our own mind, because we formulate an idea,
Yeah.
and children are very, very creative, and they
Yeah.
can use their creativity negatively or positively, and based on the attention that they get around that, that's where we can come in and go, instead of saying, no, not everybody hates you, and then just brush it off, and just challenge that question.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That is so true. Like doing that questioning is so true because, children do make a lot of absolute statements.
Yeah.
I'm no good. I can't do this. That was one word, words that we didn't allow in our household. I can't say those words. But they make a lot of absolutes around who they think they are. Somehow they've picked on, I can't. I so and so doesn't like me. Everybody hates me. I think I'll go eat worms, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that. And so encouraging parents to take a moment to slow down and then find that narrative to ask those questions is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our kids are conditioned by their environment, and we are a good part of their environment for the first 5 or 6 years, depending on when you send your children. If you're homeschooling, your kids are home all the time, so they're constantly in their environment, and their environment is what's creating that.
Yeah.
And there's a saying that when you send your children to Rome, they will come back as Romans.
Yeah.
So when we send our children to another environment, or to a
Mhm.
babysitter, or to a playground that
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
isn't what our environment is,
Yeah.
they're going to get some of the characteristics and some of the identity of the environment that they're in, and it's appreciating that, and helping them to navigate that.
Yeah, that's a whole topic in itself, but that is true that children then do pick up on the attitudes and behaviors of others and adopt them into their lifestyle. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard parents say, "Well, now Johnny's acting like Sam because Sam," and so adopting those behaviors. So again, how do we have that conversation to teach our children to put up a barrier against adopting those attitudes and behaviors?
Yeah, and I don't want to get off of our topic, so I'll keep it very short. Anytime that we compare, so
Yeah.
let's say you are homeschooling, or you have two children. I had two children,
Yeah.
and my son did not act like my daughter. My daughter did not act like my son, and they
Yeah.
will both thank themselves for not doing that. Okay, because there's idiosyncrasies
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
And it's the simple thing of, what do you want to eat? Well, one would say, I want to go here, because they have this idea, and the other one said, I want to go here, I don't want to go there. And
Yeah.
now it's a challenge. Now it's, what is that affirmation of our choice? And then when we say, why can't you be more like, you know
Yeah.
your brother? Why can't you be more like whoever? Now they start to program. Now they start to question, you don't like me either,
Yeah.
because you must like this one more
Yeah.
than you like me.
Yeah.
And those are the thoughts and the response that come up around the dinner table.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's talk about positive affirmations then, because we are training ourselves to switch our words and how that might work for children. Now, even myself today, I have to start with positive affirmations. You are kind, you are productive, you are intelligent. Like, I really had to train myself. I had a lot of negative self thoughts in my mind just based on circumstances, like you say, and words that people had said to me. So, retraining that in my brain takes a daily list of affirmations. So, how does that work for children? What is too young or not too young to start those affirmations?
I don't think there's any time that's too young. I don't think if there's any time that's too early or too late. So whether you're 2 or whether you're 92, uh, we have these thoughts that go through our mind. And if we take an inventory, you cannot manage what you do not monitor.
Yeah.
So when we get into a vehicle, and our body is the greatest vehicle, it is the greatest temple, and it's how we treat this temple or this vehicle.
Yeah.
And the operating system between our ears is the most powerful source in the human experience.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because the chatter that goes on that is unconscious and subconscious, that's running a program. If we take an inventory of what we say the moment that we wake up, oh, it's Monday. I hate Mondays. Okay. It's going to, oh my gosh, it's going to rain today.
Outside. Oh my gosh, my hair. Now what's going
Yes.
to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, the constant dialogue. Oh, now I'm wet, and now I'm above my clothes, and
Yeah. So, it's our brain is a memory bank, and it only records what we put into it. It does not record anything else. So most of us have this little device, and
yeah,
it has a record button, and we can actually speak into it and it saves it.
yeah,
Okay. Now, this is something that I bought from the Apple store. Now,
yeah,
I got this as part of the standard operating equipment when I came.
exactly
So
right.
whatever I say to it, it records,
Yeah,
and then it brings it back up. And
yeah,
when I ask questions that are not positive, now I am going back into a stasis, which is a very stale, um, non-moving element, and now I'm putting poison by my thoughts
yeah,
into my brain, and
yeah,
then it brings it up. So when I say things like, why does everybody not like me, your brain goes, well, because you can't match your clothes, because your hair is bad, because remember when,
yeah,
well, in the first grade, the second grade, the third grade, nobody liked you then, they're not going to like you now.
right,
And so we go with this in our mind, and it's a regular place. It's not a normal place.
right,
Okay.
right.
So you can begin to reprogram at any age, and whatever goes on that big square screen.
Yeah,
Okay. When 9/11 happened, I can't tell you how many times that plane going into the towers was played over and over, and my kids were watching it.
yeah,
And that's a programming.
that's right. It
and
is.
and
Yeah,
so this is what happens subliminally. You're sitting on the couch, and now you're seeing all these medication advertisements. Now you start feeling the pains that you never felt before you watched the commercial. Well, this is what happens in our mind, in our body, is
yeah,
that we're
yeah,
doing the same thing. So when is the best time? Now.
yeah. Absolutely. And let's talk about that just a minute, like protecting your eye gates, your ear gates, because that's a huge thing. So we were at Bible study the other night, and my mom is with me, and we were asked to go around the table and give a scripture. So everybody was starting to go around. They get to my mom, and she's like, "Well, I'm the complainer," and she repeated a story complaining about something she had seen on the news. And I was like, turn off the TV. Like, don't
Right.
watch the news. Like, protect your mind against all the negativity that's out there in a sense. So how do we do that for our children as well? I mean, I'm sure that bombardment is also forming their thoughts as well.
It is. It is so much. And it is, as our children are watching how we interact,
Yeah.
as our children watch our actions, they pick those things up. They pick up their identity.
Yeah.
And even as an adult, you can go in with a great attitude, but if you get around people that are negative or pessimistic or, constantly in,
Yeah.
shallow breathing, their shoulders are rolled, their head is forward, there's nothing that they can think about that's good.
Yeah.
Now we're allowing those little seeds to be planted into a fertile soil, and we
Yeah.
are the fertile soil. We are the temple.
Yeah.
And so it is a constant challenging the narrative that we're saying to ourselves, and we're
Yeah.
allowing to come in. We can either let it go in one ear and out the other,
Yeah.
which is difficult
It
because
is.
it filters through our brain. It goes through, one side and through the other side. And as it's filtering, our brain is picking up little segments, little
Yeah.
different compartments.
Yeah.
Even in a company, you have different organizations within the one company. Well,
Yeah.
this is what's happening in our brain. So we
Yeah.
have the negative complainer. Then we have the positive one, but the positive one kind of gets the leftovers, because all the other stuff we're filtering of what is drawing our attention.
Yeah.
And so it is a constant and never ending desire
Yeah.
to filter that out, to get rid of the trash
Yeah.
and empty the trash and then
Right.
start over.
Yeah. And then again, just setting those barriers in place for yourself, for your children. I mean, it's always a good thing, and it's a daily thing. Watch their screen time. Make sure what is watching, even when they have screen time, is clean and pure. Again, not allowing all that stuff in. So, setting those boundaries is super key, super important. Not just learning yourself to speak your words. I think training a child to like actually speak positive words. Again, at the dinner table, what's the best thing that happened to you? Switches their mindset, and then speaking those words, not allowing them to say, we've heard the old adage, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all. Like, we had to adopt that too. Like, we're only going to say positive things, and training yourself to do that is really key to that. So, just our last few moments here together, what do you is the best advice you might have for moms, for families, to establish this end of the day positive environment that helps us just speak positively to each other, be an encouragement, but then also settle into a place of peace and rest for the evening? What great advice do you have for moms and families today?
Well, I say start with gratitude.
Yeah.
And then, the other thing is get beside yourself and just say, what part of me needs to be given a fresh breath?
Yeah.
Because it really does begin with each individual person. We can't control the outer environment. All we can do is control ourselves.
Yeah.
And as we control ourselves, as we set the example for ourselves, it just kind of transforms our environment around us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if you are kind to yourself, if you love yourself
Yeah.
a little bit more than maybe the day before, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a mountain, but just love yourself a little bit and put a smile on your face and appreciate one thing that you've done.
Yeah.
Even if nobody else, we don't allow our environment to control us. And this is what we're training our children. If we
Yeah.
allow the environment to control us, they pick that up. They
Yeah.
learn that it's not natural. They came into this world with a big smile on their face. Well, they got spanked. So, okay. But,
Yeah.
they coo and they cuddle and
Yeah.
they're trying to find their way. And we are their path.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely.
never too late.
Yeah. I love that start with gratitude, but also end with gratitude. 3 things the beginning of the day. What are you grateful for? Even if it's like when I did my doctorate in Africa and we didn't have hot showers or showers for many months on end. So I was like grateful for hot showers. Like the little things make a big difference. Like don't think that any small thing is not capable of being grateful for, like the small things in life. But 3 in the morning, I'm grateful for the sunshine today. I'm grateful for a hot shower today. I'm grateful for food that I like to go with me today.
Right.
Um, it's the small things. And then ending 3 things you're grateful for before you put your head on the pillow. Super great, small step you can do to raise the atmosphere in your household. Yeah, super awesome.
Yep. That's perfect.
Yeah. All right. We're going to wrap it up for today. So, again, just small things go a long ways. Make a small step today. We encourage you. Thank you for tuning in. We've got some more great topics ahead. So, be sure to like, subscribe, and to follow us for more. All right. Take care. We'll see you soon.